Hello, Internet. James Allen from Out of 8, and today I'm playing American football simulation Madden NFL 19. This is the first PC version of the series since 2008, which was released 11 years ago. But it's finally back on PC where it belongs. The game is probably not very mod-friendly for those who are interested in doing user modifications on it, because most of the content is in console-like compressed files, like you're playing this off a disk. But inevitably someone will find a way to do that sort of thing. So in the game, there's a couple of game modes. You have the longshot mode, which is kind of the story, where you follow a couple of characters and stuff like that. There's Ultimate Team. Inside Ultimate Team, what you do is collect cards that are different players that you can use to make an Ultimate Team and then play other people online. You get these cards every once in a while. You can put them on your team, sell them for money and stuff like that. They have different solo challenges where you can try to earn coins to upgrade your team. Battles where you go against computer-controlled user teams. And then you can do head-to-head seasons against other people, play cooperatively with other people. You can do a draft online, and then buy new cards and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people that are interested in this mode, although I'm not necessarily one of them. But, you know, it's kind of a nice little feature to have there to kind of extend the play of the game. In addition to that, there's exhibition games which you can play online. Online play has been pretty smooth for me, pretty quick to find another match, and I haven't encountered any notable lag issues with that. There's also a skills trainer where you can practice certain things in the game, and also practice mode. And then probably the meatiest part of the game is the franchise mode, which I'm actually going to start a new franchise. So I'm going to use the preseason roster. So you can pick your team. Obviously going to pick the Jags. And then you can choose when to start. So I'm going to just start at the regular season beginning. You can also choose to control everything, control a certain player. So you can play just as like Leonard Fournette, for example, or Blake Bortles, or Jalen Ramsey. Or you can do the owner, where you kind of manage thing, and then see how everything goes. So we'll do the coach there. I'll start the league. We'll kind of skip to the middle of the season so that you can kind of see all the features that are present in the franchise mode. If you've played any of the recent versions of Madden on consoles, a lot of the same features are present here. It'll be very similar. But obviously on PC it hasn't been on here in quite a while. So everything's new from that perspective. As with most yearly franchises, there are not very many differences between one season to the next outside of roster changes. So this isn't something that I would probably buy Madden NFL 20. But, probably go, skip a couple years or so in between things. So the first thing you do in a new franchise is set your goal for the season. So I'm going to say we're going to reach the divisional round, which is probably pretty accurate. And then you can also do weekly training, which is pretty interesting. What it does is based on who your opponent is, you can see their different attributes over on the left there, what they try to do, the Giants do power and inside running. So you can develop a game plan to kind of counter that, both offensively and defensively, and then choose a couple players to get experience bonuses. While players gain experience, their ratings go up, and that's how it kind of, does growth in that sense, which is pretty cool, to be honest about it. And then you can play your game, which I'll get to in a minute. You can go in, adjust your roster in between offense, defense, special teams, obviously. Interesting are the specialists here. When you go into nickel and dime, you have special nickel and dime rush things, which is pretty cool. Like, for example, Calais Campbell goes on the inside on third downs to help rush the passer. So they have, like a blitzing, rushing type deal there. You can do, third down backs and stuff like that. They can go in and sign free agents. There's a whole draft thing, which I'll show off in a minute, where you pick all your draft stuff. So we're going to advance. We're going to skip sim to mid-season here. because it doesn't let you do draft stuff until like week 4. And I do want to show that off. Oh, well, that didn't work. Yes, sim ahead. Probably pressed the wrong thing. Sometimes it's hard to tell what's selected and what's not sometimes, even though it has the white with the red bar underneath what you selected. But that's all right. When you play each game, there's a number of game options you can choose from. There's 3 game styles. There's simulation, which is what I play on because I like to have the most realistic experience. There's also arcade, which is much higher scoring, as you would imagine. And there's also competitive mode for online play, which puts more of an emphasis on using player moves and hit sticks and jukes and stuff like that. So that's pretty interesting. And then you can also adjust the skill level of the AI. I like to have the accelerated clock on, which is on by default. And then I usually they have a bunch of different options in here for your franchise mode. I'm going to change quarter length up to 10 and that down to 18 because I'm going to do skip ahead mode in a minute. And then, you can do all the stuff that you have manual. So a lot of different options there that are present. So we're in week 9. I don't know what my record is. I'm 5-3. Could done better if I played it myself. That's right. So occasionally you'll have decisions to make. You can decide whether you want to play a player or not. I'm just going to start the backup because if you play them while they're injured, they'll could re-injure themselves. And then you can also negotiate new contracts during the season. So, for example, probably not going to renew Dante and stuff like that. And then it orders it by rating and stuff like that. So, pretty interesting there. So I will not do that right now because that's kind of boring. And then you can scout college players, so it gives you a bunch of points every week. And an interesting feature is the ability you can download college classes from what people have done online or import them locally, which is pretty cool. So people have actually gone in and done like the real college players that are coming out in next year's draft. So like this one includes the top 64 players, which is pretty cool. Or you can go in and just do randomly generated. Yes, I know how to do that. Yeah, I know. I've done this before. Okay, yeah, I got you. Okay, all right. So anyway, what you do is when you scout somebody 3 times, it tells you all their ratings, and then you can scout them more at the combine and give them a combine grade. And then the little puzzle pieces here, players get bonuses to their experience points if they're a fit for your strategy, your game, your team strategy. So, for example, since I like run-stopping left ends, then he would be a good fit for my defense, whereas the left end power rusher is not a fit for the type of football that I want to play, which I think is really interesting there. So you can kind of, pick certain draft picks and free agents that fit your team as opposed to ones that don't. So, of course, we're on the bye week at midseason, so we're going to advance next week to the Colts game. And hopefully obliterate the Colts. So, again, more scouting points if you want to do that, but I'm just going to kind of show this off. So, Keelan Cole's ready to go. So we'll play the game. When you play the game, I'm going to simulate the training. You can either play the full game, offense or defense only, or you can play the moments, which is pretty interesting, which is what I'm going to do for time. Is I'll let you play third downs, 2 minutes, and when you're in the red zone. And then you can get to skip the rest of the middle stuff. So we'll go in here. And then you get bonuses when you call offensive and defensive plays that follow your game plan, and they're indicated in the play calling areas. So you get the little presentation stuff before each game. Maybe Andrew Luck. So, and then you can hold down the A to skip it all. So when you do the key moments thing, it shows you all the plays. I usually just put it on fast. We'll just jump ahead as fast as possible. So here we go. So I have a 3rd and 6, so it's letting me take control. So we'll go, and then you can filter all your plays, formation, concept, a lot of different options there. I like to do it by formation because that's kind of the classic Madden way of doing things. I'm going to do a play action thing out of the I, so we'll flip that. You also have subs where you can sub in like backup running backs and stuff like that. If you hold down left trigger, it will show, you know, the routes and stuff. You can also use the right stick and do audibles and hot routes and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to do it to Y. No, Y. Y. There we go. I was pressing the wrong button. I was pressing right shoulder. So that wasn't very good. That's what I get for trying to explain while I'm trying to play. Alright, so we'll continue in the next one. It's probably going to make me, yeah, it's going to make me kick the field goal. Well, you can skip it if you want. So I'll do a 42-yarder. So I need, like, in the middle. Yeah, that was alright. Should be alright. So, players look good. Probably the most striking thing that I've seen is animation. Player animations looks a lot more fluid than, you know, a couple versions ago in the past. The commentary does get repetitive after a while. They do say the same things over and over again. But the good news is that they do have some interesting things that they say every once in a while. For example, when I was playing the Chargers and Lambeau came out for a kick, they commented that he used to be on the Chargers. I think that's pretty cool. A little, you know, immersive stuff like that. And they'll talk about things that happened during the season and stuff like that. Let's see. Probably want to do B or A. There you go. Keelan. So this is a good way of getting, if you don't want to have to play every play, you know, to kind of blitz through a franchise without having to spend a bunch of time on every game, but still influencing the outcome on you know, on key plays and stuff like that. And now that I'm in the red zone, it'll give me control back. So 1st and 10 on the 17, so we're trying to run it with Lenny. You don't have to do the right stick, but you can just like press X directly to do the audible and stuff like that if you want to. That's just there just if you forget what the commands are. Oh yeah. And if you wanted to, I have it turned on to give you little suggestions on buttons to press to counter the other people and stuff like that. The NFL seasons that are simmed out are pretty accurate. There are too many ties, which may be due to the fact that the default... yeah, shut up. The default length of the game is really short, and it makes overtime like super, super short. I think that has more to do with it than the fact that it just doesn't sim overtime that well. Alright, I want to switch him over. Maybe I don't. Oh, he's wide open. You got it. Touchdown. And you get to celebrate, too, if I didn't get tackled. Another cool thing is I've noticed that they have the actual sack celebrations. Like, for example, for the Jaguars, they have Malik Jackson combing his hair. They have the thing that Calais Campbell swinging the golf club, whatever the heck Dante Fowler does. So, pretty neat that they, you know, went to that level of detail. So, up 10-0, not a surprise. They're down again. So, 3rd and 9. Let's go in the gun. I'll show some of the alternate play options other than formation here in a little bit. So, probably Y. Y or A, depending on which way the middle linebacker goes. Austin Safarian-Jenkins. Former Jet. Alright, next moment. Should be in the red zone. Yep. Alright, so let me show a couple of the other. So, like, you can do concept. So, for example, if you want to do, like, a power run, they have all the power runs here, no matter what formation it is. So like try inside power. Oh yeah, 2-minute warning. Yeah, we'll still do the same thing. Graphics are pretty good too. This is set on high. Ultra I found for whatever reason, because it turns everything up, is like way too slow. But usually I get right around 60 frames per second on high, which is pretty good. And I'm just going to let the clock run. Running the ball can be very difficult. The defenders seem to be pretty fast running things down. Let's see what other thing. Play type. You know, quick pass, standard pass, stuff like that. Let's do outside handoff. There you go. Oh, got tripped up. And then it shows a little ticker on the bottom of all the other games going on. Pretty cool. 3rd and 9. Personnel. So like you could sort it by, you know. Go back to formation there, because I'm going to do a gun. Sure. Sure.
The Jaguars on 3rd down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 9.
Alright, what do I want? A or B. There we go. Let's call timeout. 1st and goal. Then you can skip the commercials and stuff. You know, the TV timeout. 1st and goal from the 6. Let's try a dive on 1st down.
Another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal.
Go! Go! Yeah, I'll do no huddle. And then it gives you like the top plays for no huddle. Like the top 3 plays in each formation. Oh, come on. Timeout. Still have 1 timeout left. Alright. Skip. Oh, I'm probably going to pass it. To be honest. I'll do that. That looks good. Actually, I might move him to the other side. If you press B, you can cycle players and then move him using the left stick. Yeah, I'll try the right button. That was a bad pass. That was bad. Field goal. I like this kicking mechanic better than the last time I played Madden. I think like 16 or something I have for the Xbox or something like that. Yay, great job. During halftime, they'll show highlights of other games that are going on. But since I simmed it, I didn't get halftime, which is a nice little presentation touch. Well, all my things are on offense, just because my defense is doing pretty decent. 3rd and 6. There's a gameplay plan. We'll do that. Alright, so... yeah, Y or X. There you go, Didi. 1st down. Now I'm in the red zone, so I get the ball again. 1st and 10 from the 19. Let's do curls. Yeah, they're shifting their wall. Alright, we'll watch him either X or B. Go! Oh, he got it.
Touchdown, Jacksonville. In for the score. And the Jaguars add on to their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise.
That was nice. The Colts suck. Ooh, they're going for it on 4th. This is my first defensive play. So 4th and 7, I'll go by nickel. So let's do cover 3. They're pretty close to the end zone. Is Yannick out here? He should be. There he is. Get him. Ah, picked off. You suck. That was like my rush that did that. 28-14. 3rd and 2. Let's spell the running back. See, he looks kind of tired. Get Yeldon in there. See if we can make 2 yards. Not really. 4th and 1. I've gone for it on 4th. 4th and 4 from way in their end of the field. Do a double A gap. Sure, we'll cover 2. Since it's our game plan play. I don't like having the pressure of playing a middle linebacker. Because if I mess up, then it's like a big play. So I usually play one of the linemen. He almost got picked off again. Shoulder isn't okay. Alright, so I get the ball, so we're just going to try to run out the clock. Do a toss.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. But they can thank their defense for another stop. And now look at the score where they've got the football. They're looking pretty good.
They're looking excellent because now you're thinking to yourself, let's just take some time off the clock.
Oh, that was easy. When you run the correct direction, where the defense is not, then running can be pretty easy. And that'll probably be it. Yeah, 35-17.
Well, I know it points to this when you wanted to close your eyes.
Accurate.
Points that were being put on the scoreboard, your defensive guys.
And it shows you a little highlights from the game, which is pretty cool at the end.
It was, and you know the people really enjoyed this game. They're the ones that like going to batting practice in the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the
You can skip the little stat part.
that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw.
Yeah.
So for the Jags, the win will help them keep it.
Your coach gets experience points too by meeting your weekly goals, which you can use to make it easier to scout and also retain free agents for based on the interest level there, which is kind of interesting there, which I'm not going to do on this. And then, as I said earlier, your players gain experience points by playing and being involved in plays, and then you can go in and use those points to upgrade their skills. So, for example, Miles Jack wasn't down, but he is going to get a couple of points there, one in pass coverage and one in stopping the run. Or you could have it do it automatically if you want. So like upgrade all players, and it'll just it'll choose whatever, because I haven't done it yet this year. It'll choose whatever the most fitting thing is for your fit. So there you go. That's a look at Madden NFL 19. I do like it. I'm glad it's back on the PC. Dial up the graphics. Probably can't mod it, although I think some people will figure some stuff out eventually. Like with most entries in the Madden series, there's no real reason to buy it every year, unless you're super interested in online play, I guess, and it's the only thing you play. But for something that hasn't been on the PC in 11 years, this is definitely nice for it to be back. It runs really good. The graphics look really good at higher resolutions that are on the PC. Online play is smooth. It has a decent number of options. I like the franchise mode. Gives you a lot of options there for doing free agency and the draft and upgrading players and coming up with different play strategies for your training for the next opponent. The Ultimate Team is interesting for people who like to collect cards to make a team that they can take online and play other people against. There's the Story Mode, which is not that interesting to me. But some people like that sort of thing. And then also exhibition games you can play. I do like that the exhibition games highlight upcoming real games during the season. Like, for example, if we go into the exhibition, obviously I have the Jags picked as my favorite team. So it has their first preseason game on here. You can also customize it, or you can go in and pick any of these other games that are actual games and go in and play whoever you want, which is pretty cool. So you get to do the real matchups, and then they put in commentary based on that, which is pretty interesting. The gameplay is pretty much what you would expect out of Madden. I personally like the simulation mode, but there's also competitive play, which puts more emphasis on user control, and then the arcade for higher scoring. I like the accelerated clock. The player animations are really nice, and it has the injuries come up every once in a while, more so in franchise mode, so you have to deal with those during the season. Has a lot of pre-play adjustments you can make, audible to a different play, hot routes for certain players, put players in motion, adjusts the pass protection, the defensive line, the linebackers, the coverage, and then all the different controls you can have when you control a player, spinning, hurdling, stiff arms, where you want to receive, whether you want an aggressive catch or try to run after the catch, how you want to play the ball if you're on defense and stuff like that. So a lot of different buttons you can memorize there, or not. If you don't want to memorize them, you can still play and have a good time in that. So again, as with most entries in the Madden series, I recommend it as long as you haven't purchased Madden the last year or two, and especially welcome back on the PC where it really belongs. That's all I have for today. Until next time, bye now.